Everybody loves Japanese RPGs, right? Some people love them for the stories they tell, while others simply want to enjoy looking at their waifus, like Venusaur, who is widely known as the ultimate waifu. As for me, I never really cared for Venusaur, but I've always been a fan of cool battle systems. One of my favorite things about them is seeing all the awesome moves your characters can learn as they get stronger. Basic attacks are fine, but get boring really quickly, right? But Omni Slash? Come on, that's always fun to watch. Now, in Digimon World 3, each Digimon above the rookie level has an entire moveset that it can learn. Every champion, ultimate and mega level Digimon has a skill level, which is completely different from the rookie's natural level. As a Digimon gains skill levels, they'll unlock new attacks and techniques, and even the ability to allow other Digimon to use their moves, although there is a limit to this. Not all moves have cool animations or anything like that though. Most magic attacks just have your Digimon throwing a small pink thing at your opponent, which is pretty disappointing to look at. In fact, special physical moves pretty much look like basic attacks. They really cheaped out on the animations here. Well, anyway, the most valuable move that a Digimon can learn, or at least that's what the game wants you to think, is the signature attack, which is unique for each and every Digimon, and each one, thankfully, has a unique animation too. But let me go on a tangent and talk about the Digimon in this game for a moment. It is important to keep in mind that Digimon in this game are not created equal. Some champion level Digimon are stronger than other champions, while some mega level Digimon are practically weaker than some ultimate level ones. Digimon World 3 literally has tiers for all usable Digimon in the game. Essentially, the longer it takes to unlock a certain Digimon, the higher up on the tier list it probably is going to be. And like the Digimon, signature attacks are not created equal either. Some really powerful Digimon have pretty weak attacks, at least in terms of damage. Malomayotismon takes an eternity to unlock, and I had high hopes for its Melting Blood signature attack, but it fell pretty flat for me. One reason for that could be the fact that it's a magic-based move. Magic in this game is very quirky. If the opposing Digimon is weak to a certain element, magic attacks of that element would certainly do a lot of damage. On the other hand, if the opposing Digimon have a high tolerance to said element, the magic attacks associated with that element would do basically nothing. Now, Melting Blood is of the Dark element, and Tapirmon does have some middling level of Dark element tolerance. But really, I felt that Melting Blood should have been doing more than this to a freaking Tapirmon at the very least. Especially considering that my Malomayotismon has max Dark element tolerance and Spirit, which is basically magic attack, and even Wisdom, although that probably doesn't do anything. And Tapirmon is one of the two weakest enemies in the game, literally the equivalent of a Pidgey or Rattata from the early routes in Pokemon Red and Blue. Pretty disappointing stuff from the big evil Digimon. Everybody wants to see some big numbers when it comes to really epic attacks, right? This was just sad. But that did get me thinking. In terms of raw damage numbers, what is the most powerful attack in Digimon World 3? No silly numbers like what Melting Blood was putting out. I wanted to see some hardcore damage. In fact, while I was thinking about this, there was one question that really piqued my curiosity. What is the most damage you could do in this game with one attack? I figured it was worth looking into this. The people need to know, after all. Within the data of the game, each available attack does have a power level associated with it to give an idea about how strong the move is supposed to be. Omnimon's T-Sword from earlier had a base power of 400, while Wargreymon's Terra Force had a base power of 480. Besides the special effect from T-Sword, both of these moves are rather similar. They are both non-elemental physical attacks. Because of the higher raw power, Terra Force did more damage. So I looked through the data of World 3 to see if I could find something that could hit real hard. For the purposes of my testing, I, of course, brought in an old friend, Tapirmon. Who better to trust with such an important experiment? Now then, first, I wanted to see which move had the highest raw power. That seemed like the obvious way to go. I am, of course, going to ignore enemy Digimon moves for this, as I can't really acquire them for myself, without shenanigans at least. Well, it turns out that Diaboromon has the honor of having the signature attack with the most amount of power behind it. 800 to be precise. But Cable Crusher is, unfortunately, a magic-based attack. I tried it out on our friend, as well as a couple of other enemies, and it really did not impress. It can knock out Tapirmon, but then again, a gust of wind would be able to do the same. So Cable Crusher is out. I figured that I would need to look for a physical move in order to get anywhere. So when it comes to physical signature moves, there are some really good ones. There is the Terra Force from War Greymon, which has more power than the Terra Destroyer from Black War Greymon. That does not sit right with me, to be honest, but okay. On a different note, I think Rosemon's signature move, Thorn Whipping, has the lowest base power of any Mega level Digimon's move. That is quite depressing, I feel. Rosemon got done pretty dirty in this game, as the rest of her moveset is trash too. Actually, Angewomon is terrible in this game as well. Truly tragic for the waifus. Anyway, we could take things up a notch by unlocking Imperial Dramon Fighter Mode. Fighter Mode gets access to the Giga Crusher, which has even more raw power than Terra Force. Not bad, but surely we could go further. We don't necessarily have to restrict ourselves to permanent Digivolutions, right? Through DNA Digivolutions, we can find a bunch of really powerful one-time attacks. The strongest of which, by far, is actually the DNA Diaboromon attack. Unlike the Cable Crusher which regular Diaboromon had, the DNA attack is a physical move and has the highest base power of any move in the entire game. That is pretty epic. So have we found our answer? Well, not quite. For you see, here is where I figured out the problem. As I'm sure you must have noticed as well, no matter how much power is behind any of these moves, it doesn't really matter all that much, as the damage shown to us is capped at 9,999. Our Tapirmon friend here may actually be taking more damage than what we see, but we can't really see it, so it doesn't really matter, right? And then, I had an epiphany. The answer must lie within multi-hit attacks, as each hit can, potentially, hit for up to 9,999 damage. So all we gotta do is find the best multi-hit attack in Digimon World 3. Now that we know what to look for, it does narrow things down quite a bit. There aren't exactly a ton of multi-hit attacks in the game, especially if we ignore the magic-based ones. So what does that leave us with? Well, as far as signature attacks go, Hail Dramon has the Desperado Blaster, which is a pretty decent move, but the base power of each hit doesn't really impress me all that much. All the special DNA attacks only hit once, so we can ignore all of them too. Kinda weird, to be honest. Not a single multi-hit attack in that category at all. Now, if we were to only consider Mega level Digimon, there is one Digimon that stands head and shoulders above everyone else. Beelzemon. His signature attack is Blast Mode, which hits 3 times, and each hit has 300 base power behind it, so that gives us a grand total of 900 base power. While DNA Diaboromon might have superior base power, Beelzemon can hit over the damage cap and hit for some pretty crazy numbers. I don't think Tapirmon particularly enjoyed taking those shots, but I'm sure our friend understands that we are looking for answers here. You know what they say, when searching for the truth, sacrifices must be made, by Tapirmon. So is this it, I wondered? Is this the most broken move in the game in terms of damage output? Is this the most damage I could do here? Well, as it turned out, no. There is one move that actually surpasses Blast Mode. Whoa, what kind of ultimate signature move is that, you may be wondering? Well, as it turns out, it's not a signature attack at all. A couple of Digimon can learn it naturally, and they could allow anyone to use the move, if that is what you wished for. This all-powerful attack is known simply as Impact Rush. On the face of it, it doesn't look better than Blast Mode. It does not have any effects, it's also non-elemental like Blast Mode, and its base power is actually lower at 240 per hit. So what am I talking about then? Well, we gotta dig deeper to find the answer. There are certain accessories that can be found throughout the game, and their main purpose is to augment your basic attacks with an element of your choice. Only one such accessory can be equipped by a Digimon, and it can add a bit of extra damage, especially if the opposing Digimon is weak to that element. These are called power accessories. There are 3 levels of these accessories, so for each element, there can be a power 1, 2, and S, each one amplifying an attack more than the last. Now, while the obvious use of these accessories would be to improve the basic attack of your Digimon, there is another use for them that can be overlooked at first. If a special attack, either physical or magic-based, has no element associated with it, the power accessories can amplify those attacks as well. The only exception here is the signature attacks. Even if they are non-elemental, the accessories will not do anything for them. So let's go back to Impact Rush and consider these power accessories. For our purposes, we'll only use the S power ones, as they are the strongest. In terms of numbers, as far as I can tell, an S power could boost the overall damage of an attack by 12% if the enemy has strong tolerance against the equipped element, 42% if the enemy isn't strong or weak to it, or a whopping 80% if the enemy happens to be weak to the equipped element. So Impact Rush could become a 800-ish power move in the worst case scenario, or a 1296 power move in the best possible situation. Blast Mode, on the other hand, is always going to be stuck at 900 power. I wonder if the developers wanted the signature attack of one of the most difficult to acquire Digimon in the game to be overshadowed like this. In any case, we gotta discuss this with our friend Tapirmon and see if the numbers do make a difference. First, I'm gonna test out Impact Rush without an accessory to see what kind of baseline damage we're looking at here in comparison to Blast Mode. Let's keep in mind the damage from Blast Mode as we do this. 19,062 is the number to beat. So for test number 1, I've equipped Beelzemon with a Dark Power S accessory. Tapirmon's highest element tolerance is against the Dark element, so our Dark Power accessory won't add a ton of damage here. But in any case, let's see what happens. Well then, Impact Rush has immediately surpassed Blast Mode without us doing much at all. But I think we can push this even further. Next up, I'm gonna equip Beelzemon with the Thunder Power S. Tapirmon has a significantly lower tolerance towards that element. Let's see if there is a substantial difference in damage. Oh my god, I hope Tapirmon is okay. But we have finally gone into the 20,000 damage range, and we are not done yet, my friends. So for the next attempt, let's equip Beelzemon with Fire Power S. Fire is Tapirmon's worst tolerance, so we should be doing even more damage than before. Ooh, nearly max damage! I don't think our friend here can take much more of this, but it appears we've hit the limits of what Impact Rush is capable of. Maybe it is finally time to let Tapirmon here head to the hospital. I mean, we've done all we can here, unless we can find an attack that, oh, I don't know, hits 4 times. But that would be insane. Only enemies and bosses have those kind of attacks. So it looks like this is the end, my Tapirmon friend. You've done well and deserve a rest. I suppose it's time for us to say goodbye. You really didn't believe that, did you? We aren't done yet, cause I'm about to show you something special. I mentioned that there are certain enemy Digimon whose attacks can hit 4 times, right? Well, there is actually one move in the entire game that we can use ourselves, which can hit 4 times too. The whole thing is kinda bizarre, to be honest. It's a unique signature attack, but not one for a mega level Digimon, like you'd expect. For some insane reason, it belongs to a champion level Digimon. Why does this champion have such a unique attack, not accessible in any way, shape or form to any other Digimon you can get? It is another one of life's great mysteries, like the pyramids, aliens, or why, apparently, Kabuterimon and Monochromon can digivolve into Anjuvumon. It's a thing, unless the internet is lying to me again. Anyway, so who is this amazing ultra strong champion? Why, it's the one and only Dinohumon. I can really hear the sound of everyone not caring. This charming creature apparently came from Digimon Frontier, like the DNA Digivolution trio of Agunimon, Kendogarurumon, and Ancient Greymon. Although, as far as I can tell, Dinohumon did not play a starring role in the anime like the DNA trio. But that's all besides the point. What we are really here for is Dinohumon's signature attack, Lizard Dance. This move can hit up to 4 times, although the power is pretty terrible compared to some of the moves we've seen so far. And in terms of damage, it doesn't really do a whole lot to Tapirmon. Our friend here has seen much worse. So now, I'm sure you're wondering, as you down your 15th can of Pepsi, but editor man, signature moves can't even be amplified by accessories. How will Lizard Dance overshadow Impact Rush? Well, that's a very good question. We're gonna have to break out a secret, special technique to truly break our limits. To be fair, what we're about to do could amplify any attack. I was just saving it in case I really needed it. This move is a buff, which is, as far as I know, only learned by Marsmon, which is Kumamon's natural mega form in World 3. Marsmon can learn the move Mishukiko, and I hope I am pronouncing that right, at skill level 65, but can only load this move at skill level 99. When a Digimon loads a move, any other Digivolutions equipped by the same rookie can use that move as well at a slightly higher MP cost. Mishukiko's description says that it allows your Digimon to save ki to maximum for next blow. Simply put, what that means is that the next move used after Mishukiko will hit harder. But that's not all. In addition to that, we're gonna throw in some spice to the mix by using double power, which Dinohumon learns naturally. Again, it's another move I was hoping I wouldn't have to use, as I can apply it to every attack, but I think we kinda need it here because of how low the base power of Lizard Dance is. Double power can push the strength stat cap of a Digimon beyond 999 in battle, which can give Lizard Dance the extra boost that it needs. So after a couple of uses of double power, combined with the secret sauce that is Mishukiko, let's see what Lizard Dance is really capable of. Now that is some totally awesome damage. R.I.P. in peace, Tapirmon. But there we have it. That is, I think, the most damage that we can do in this game. And the honor of achieving this goes to Lizard Boy here. Yay, I guess. But do you know about any attacks that I may have overlooked? Ones that could do even more damage than this? Well, leave me a comment and let me know, and I'll try to revive Tapirmon for one more round. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And if you want to support the channel, you could do so on my Patreon, where I've got some cool exclusive playthroughs. Or you could buy me some Pepsi as well, links are in the description. And now, here's a quick shout out to my wonderful patrons. Thank you Hero Emblem, Blake CN1, Vanilla, Yog, Sevastimatus, Carl Dean, and Jonathan Harley for your continued support. And here's a special shout out to McTivil, an amazing friend of the channel. Your friendship continues to make Nerdhood a better place. Thank you McTivil, my friend. And now, for an ultra strong shout out to the incredible people who keep the digital world safe and sound. A huge thank you to the amazing duo of Shamine and Derpin Goose for your support. You are both the best, like no one ever was. Well, I think I gotta give my friend Tapirmon a break here while he recovers from his many injuries. Maybe I should take a deeper look into the World 3 card game in the meantime. There are plenty of secrets hiding within that minigame, after all. So I suppose, very soon, it'll be time to duel. Until then, take care everyone, and I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye!